Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare Krishna devotees, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Welcome devotees to today's class. This morning we will be discussing from Chaitanya Charitamrita, CC Adi Lila, chapter 5, verses 224. And the chapter is entitled The Glories of Nityananda Ram, Lord Nityananda Balaram. And we're very happy to have His Holiness Candramauli Swami with us. Hare Krishna Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to you and Srila Prabhupada Maharaj.
Haribol, glories to Prabhupada. My obeisances to you and to all devotees.
And it's all yours, Maharaj.
Okay, bring it up a little. Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Visram Gaura Bhakta Vrindam Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrindam smerāṁ bhaṅgī-traya-paricitāṁ sāci-vistīrṇa-dṛṣṭiṁ smerāṁ bhaṅgī-traya-paricitāṁ sāci-vistīrṇa-dṛṣṭiṁ vaṁśī-nyastādhara-kiśalayām ujjvalāṁ candrakeṇa govindākhyāṁ hari-tanum itaḥ keśi-tīrthopakaṇṭhe ma prekṣiṣṭhās tava yada sakhe bandhu. Translation. Translation. Can you hear me?
Maharaj, you seem to be going in and out and pausing. But I do have it on the translation, Maharaj.
Yeah, I'm speaking.
Yeah, we can hear that.
My dear friend, if you're indeed attached to your worldly friends, do not look at the smiling face of Lord Govinda as he stands on the bank of Yamunā at Keśīghāṭa. Casting sidelong glances, he places his flute to his lips, which seem like newly blossoming twigs. His transcendental body, bending in three places, appears very bright in the moonlight. Purport. This is a verse quoted from the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 1.2.239 in connection with practical devotional service. Generally, people in their conditioned life engage in the pleasure of society, friendship, and love. This so-called love is lust, not love. But people are satisfied with such a false understanding of love. Vidyapati, a great and learned poet of Mithila, has said that the pleasure derived from friendship, society, and family life in the material world is like a drop of water, but our hearts desire pleasure like an ocean. Thus, the heart is compared to a desert of material existence that requires the water of an ocean of pleasure to satisfy its dryness. If there's a drop of water in the desert, one may indeed say that it is water, but such a minute quantity of water has no value. Similar, in the material world, no one is satisfied in his dealings of society, friendship, of love. Therefore, if one wants to derive real pleasure within his heart, he must seek the lotus feet of Govinda. In this verse, Rupa Goswami indicates that if one wants to be satisfied in the pleasure of society, friendship, and love, he need not take shelter at the lotus feet of Govinda. For if one takes shelter under his lotus feet, he will forget that minute quantity of so-called pleasure. One who is not satisfied with that so-called pleasure may seek the lotus feet of Govinda, who stands on the shore of Yamunā at Keśi-tīrtha or Keśīghāṭa in Vrindavan, and attracts all the gopis to his transcendental loving service. Om Gyan Timirandasya Gyanajana Salakaya Chaksu Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pacharine Nirvisesa Sunyavadi Vastyatya De Satarine Vanchakalpa Tarubhescha Vipa Sindhu Be'ebacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namaho Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasudeva Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So I'll be back in about 20 seconds.
Yes, Maharaj.
So this verse by Srila Rupa Goswami is really enchanting. In other places, it says, if you're indeed attached to family life, then don't go to the banks of Keśi-tīrthopakaṇṭhe and see the wonderful, beautiful, transcendental Lord standing in his threefold bending form, playing on this flute, smiling as he attracts all living entities to his lotus feet. Don't do that, because then your material life is finished. So it's a warning, but at the same time, it's more of a glorification of the quality of Krishna, that even those who are maybe attracted to material life can lose that attraction when they find attraction that is much more attractive or more beautiful, more fulfilling, more lovely, and that is Krishna. Of course, we can never see Krishna in his pure transcendental form. Yes, we see the beautiful form of the deity in the temple, and we get attracted to that form. And our eyes become fixed on his lotus feet, on his lotus smile, playing the flute along with his associates, Srimati Radharani, and other manifestations of himself, such as Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda, which are also extremely beautiful, Lord Jagannath, Lord Balaram, Subhadra Maharani. All of these can attract our minds and hearts. And then our material life has no meaning anymore. So that is what we want, actually. But then this verse is warning for those who don't want to lose that attraction for material life, then don't go. Don't go to that place where you see that smiling Lord playing on his flute, because then you'll lose everything material, and for you that will be the worst thing. So there are different classes of people. that this verse is aiming at. But in general, that material life has no substance to it. What do we say has no substance? The values of material life are based on the motivation that one can get from the activities in material society. In other words, it's centered around oneself. And because that is the general mood of everyone, then everyone acts for the benefit of oneself. Now, even if a person seems to be magnanimous, sacrifices his time, energy, and resources for others, still, he's still thinking of what he can gain by that. There is two kinds of moralists: those who accept morality when morality will be beneficial to their desire for material happiness and success. And those same persons will reject morality when it becomes unbeneficial for their sense gratification and success. So that's generally how the material world works. And therefore, it has no, what we say, stability in anything of value. Real morality is situated on spirituality, because the spiritual principles are the foundation by which morality is built upon. Ethics and values can change according to time, place, culture, and people. And therefore, they become optional depending on what is the situation then. We see even today in today's world, even morality has been thrown out in the name of personal desire. Therefore, they don't say that they throw out morality. They give another definition of morality. Morality means to act for your own benefit. And therefore, they create all of these false ideas, but false ideas cannot give substance to life. A false idea is what it is. It's false. Just like it says here, the so-called love in this world is not love. It's lust. Lust means about me. Love means about thee. People are not selfless when it becomes self-destruct, when it comes unfulfilling to their own self. We have many examples in the Battle of Kurukshetra. Dronacharya was a great devotee. He was actually a devotee of the Lord, and he was actually fighting against the Lord on the side of the Kauravas. And he followed religious principles to the T. But when they were fighting against Abhimanyu, who was only a boy, the Kauravas surrounded him, and they couldn't, even when they surrounded him, he was defeating them all, or they weren't able to defeat him. So Dronacharya told Karna to attack him from the back, which is against the religious principles, or the codes of Kshatriya Dharma. And he did, and that was how he killed Abhimanyu unfairly. Krishna noted that, and then when Dronacharya was cutting through the ranks of all of the soldiers on the Pandavas, and he couldn't be stopped, Krishna knew that the only way they could stop Dronacharya was to somehow communicate to him that his son Asvatthama was killed. Now, Dronacharya would not believe anybody who communicated that his son was killed, but he knew that Yudhisthira was righteous and would never tell a lie. And so Krishna said to Yudhisthira, you say to Dronacharya, you loudly declare Asvatthama is dead. Yudhisthira didn't want to do that. because he was so moral in his principles that he didn't want to tell a lie. But Krishna knew that Dronacharya had cheated, and therefore he wasn't offered the respect that a person who followed religious principles would get. Therefore, Krishna used Yudhisthira, and Yudhisthira was reluctant to do it. And later he had to see hell because he didn't follow Krishna's instructions perfectly. He said very loudly, Asvatthama, the elephant, is dead. There was an elephant whose name was Asvatthama. Dronacharya didn't hear the word elephant, and then when he heard that his son had been killed, of course it wasn't true, he lost his enthusiasm for fighting, and therefore the Pandavas were able to, pick themselves up and defeat Dronacharya and the Kauravas in that war that day. And so Krishna used that principle that when you're dealing with cheaters, sometimes you have to cheat, but for a higher cause. That was the point. Not cheating for the sake of cheating, but for cheating for a higher cause. And the higher cause is not something personal, just like when somebody does something wrong to you or offends you, you tolerate, and you also find ways to forgive that person. But if someone does something wrong to some superiors or to others who are devotees of the Lord, you should not simply forgive them and tolerate it. You should act and respond according to the situation. And so the moral and religious principles support spiritual principles, because spiritual principles, moral principles are an extension of spiritual principles, but they mostly attain to or pertain to ordinary life. So here, it's a kind of a trick thing. Hey, if you want to keep your society and family to life together and enjoy this so-called love that you think, which doesn't give you any real satisfaction, as it says here, that these things, the happiness that you get is like a drop of water in the desert. When you're in a desert, you want water. You don't want a drop. A drop has no meaning. Even though someone says, well, here's water, but what will one drop do in the desert when someone is thirsty? So in the same way, what will one drop of so-called happiness give us in this material world when we desire happiness always, unlimitedly? But still, the attachment is there due to the desire to enjoy, try to squeeze some happiness out of that one drop. But here it says that if someone is a little bit intelligent and can see that the happiness they're getting from material life is simply a drop, then they will go and see that beautiful boy standing in his threefold bending form, playing on his flute, smiling with a beautiful peacock feather. And then all of their plans for material happiness will dissipate as clouds blow, as wind blows clouds away from the area in the sky. So this is Krishna. He's so attractive for those who want to be attracted. He will attract them completely, perfectly, and they will forget what it means to be what we say, attached to the ephemeral, fleeting things of this material world and take up real happiness and real attachment. And that is basically what this verse is saying, that everything about Krishna is transcendentally wonderful. And because we have an eternal loving relationship with Krishna, that attraction awakens that relationship and it inspires one to go deeper into that attraction. So that is Krishna consciousness. We see how devotees come to Krishna consciousness. They get some taste Their taste may be some philosophical knowledge that really inspires them. Or they meet some devotee who is very kind to them and takes time to bring them closer to the process of devotional service by doing whatever is necessary to inspire that people to learn more and to take part in devotional service. Or they get some nice prasadam. They also come to Krishna consciousness in so many different ways. And that initial inspiration is the springboard by which they can go deeper into becoming a full-time lover of Krishna in devotional service. So here, seeing the beautiful transcendental form of the Lord, one will never forget that. Even if one somehow or other falls away from that attraction remains still within their consciousness and will again resurface in due course of time when the situation presents itself. So therefore, Prabhupada ends the purport here, therefore, and he said, if one wants to derive real pleasure within his heart, he must seek the lotus feet of Govinda. And then he will lose his satisfaction, so-called satisfaction, for family life, society, friendship, and whatever else comes like that. Devotees, eventually, after they get attracted to Krishna consciousness and get involved, their whole life changes. Sometimes they see what they used to do has no more taste or even any attraction at all anymore. They want to just simply distance themselves from all of that. And they can see at one time they used to be so enthusiastic for the same thing, but now it's no longer there. If you're hungry and you haven't eaten in a long time, and then someone comes along and says, here, I have a chapati here. Please have this one chapati. It has no ghee, but at least it's some food. You may accept it because you need something to eat. But if another person comes at the same time with a beautiful feast of halava, pakoras, nice sabjis and sweet rice and chutneys and kichoris and samosas and nice cakes and chutney and so many nice tasty things, you push this chapati aside and just go for the feast. So Krishna consciousness is a transcendental feast of happiness that is centered around the beautiful transcendental form of Krishna and the activities in devotional service in glorification of the Lord, which charms the heart, charms the mind, and inspires one to go deeper and deeper into that ocean of unlimited pleasure. As Vrindavan Das Thakur, the author of Chaitanya Bhagavat, the original father of Lord Chaitanya's teachings and life, he says, I'm standing on the ocean of the shore of devotion, and I'm trying to taste one drop of that ocean. And that one drop is enough to drown the whole world in love of God. So this is what Lord Chaitanya is bringing to the world. He's bringing Krishna in the most direct and most wonderful way in the form of this process of devotional service. So those who are still attracted to this material world and cannot give it up for whatever reason find themselves, what we say, unfortunate. Although they have the opportunity for great fortune, they cannot make that change for whatever reason. They prefer the dry old chapatis, saying that at least the dry old chapatis I won't overeat anyway. But in Krishna consciousness, you cannot overeat. You can only undereat in the sense that you can only go deeper into the wonders of the devotional service, which is full of wonders, the philosophy, the activities, Krishna himself, his eternal associates, the pastimes of the Lord in different areas of the world, such as Vrindavan, Mathura, and Dwarka, and other places, and Krishna's unlimited forms that he manifests to please various types of people who are attracted to him in different ways. Well, that is Krishna consciousness. So yeah, therefore this verse is really interesting. Rupa Goswami includes it in his Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu as the means to inspire those who may have some attraction for something else in material life, but don't know where to find it. Then he said, go to the banks of the Ganges, the banks of the Yamunā, the Tirtharaj, the bank, yeah, what is it called here? Tirtha Keśi-tīrthopakaṇṭhe. Krishna performed so many pastimes in Keśi-tīrthopakaṇṭhe. It's the place where he stole the clothes of the gopis. He places his flute on his lips, and when he blows that flute, then everyone in creation becomes stunned in happiness. This is Krishna consciousness. Material life is like a dry sandwich with no taste. Chewing the chews. And sometimes we say that. When people have tried to enjoy this material life from inside, upside, outside, from all angles, and still it tastes the same. If you bite a dry piece of bread from the top or from the side, or even take the middle out, it's the same thing, dry bread. Material life, they try to variegate that dryness by performing the same things in different ways. Try to have sex life in different ways, try to sleep in different ways, try to eat different things, but it's the same thing. There's no taste in that. Real taste and real happiness is Krishna. And Krishna and material life stand opposite. You can't have both. You have to choose which one. If you choose Krishna, then you understand that material life is what it is. It's simply a curse that now no longer has its effect, and therefore one is freeing themselves from the cycle of unlimited cursing, which means Maya the Base, Kacho Base, Kacho Ho Bubu, and life after life, taking birth in different species of life, and eating a little, having some sex, going to sleep, making some plans for happiness, and after some time, getting old and dying. Sometimes you don't even get old, you just die. Material life. There's nothing, it's simply a punishment for those who want to enjoy separate from Krishna. That's all. Okay.
Thank you so much, Maharaj. I'm going to stop sharing, and so that we can open up for questions. But before we do, Maharaj, I was just informed that Amrita Sundari's father passed away, left his body, and she's requesting for prayers from devotees.
Okay, Amrita Sundari.
In Farmington Hills.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know. Yeah,
Yes.
we can do that. Maybe at the end of the program, we can all offer a prayer.
Yes, Maharaj. Yes. We just would like to inform, she has requested me to inform you and the devotees here. So at the end of the class, we'll offer a prayer to her and for her family as they're going through this really difficult times, where she found out. Maharaj, we have the first question up. Krishna Kaviraj, please go ahead.
Very much, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Very much we hear about these great qualities and the tremendous beauty of the Lord, and that verse that you read out that came from the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, that was so incredible. But I find a difficulty in all of these descriptions in I think maybe because I find them so inconceivable, I can accept that he's super great beyond conception, but it's hard to digest. Right? I find when I read about these super incredible qualities of the great Vaishnavas, although even some of that is inconceivable, but it's a little easier to digest. So what would you recommend is that like the formula to try and actually relate to these inconceivable qualities and beauties and digest them?
Keep hearing about them and speak about them also. Read about them. They're unlimited. As Krishna is unlimited, so all of the qualities of Krishna are also unlimited. So the more you go into the unlimited, the more you get a taste of that same unlimited. But because they're inconceivable by material standards, they're conceivable, or at least one can experience the nectar that they offer by absorbing oneself and hearing about them, and also chanting about them. Satam prasangam mama virya samvido bhavanti ritkarna rasayana kata. That kata, that is rasayana. Rasayana means nectar, is the glories of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and especially his glories in his most intimate pastimes with his devotees in Sri Vrindavan Dham, which is the sweetest of the sweet. But even his glories in other incarnations are attractive and take one deeper and deeper into the mood of wanting to serve. So as we hear about Krishna more and more, that attraction awakens, and then that service attitude becomes more natural rather than something that we do. It becomes part of our consciousness. Service becomes continuous. So it's all about hearing. That's why Srila Prabhupada wrote so many books. He said, I wrote the books for the devotees, not simply for distribution. So we could learn all about Krishna in his different incarnations and his different pastimes and his different qualities, his unlimited qualities. In this material world, we get attracted to people because they have certain qualities, certain activities that are attractive. But that same principle of attraction, when directed towards Krishna, doesn't reach a point of saturation. It becomes more and more and more. In the material world, that saturation point is there, but in the spiritual world, there's no question of saturation. It just keeps going, because Krishna is unlimited, and the happiness that one can achieve is also unlimited, as Lord Chaitanya says, Anandam Buddhi Vardhanam. And there's an ocean of unlimited happiness in the chanting of the holy name and in the glorification of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. We have to take the philosophy to the next stage, and that is the stage of Lila, Krishna's pastimes, Krishna's qualities, Krishna's interaction with his devotees and others. Krishna becomes the center of our consciousness, or center of our interest. And then the inconceivable becomes revealed through the process of bhakti. It becomes conceivable, but it cannot become conceivable simply by intellectualism. It becomes conceivable by bhakti, by devotion.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Thank you,
Okay?
Krishna Kaviraj, Prabhu. That was a nice question because I had a similar question like that. So I'm glad you asked that. Thank you. Sri Devi, you're next.
Thank you, Ansuya. Dear Guru Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. So, Maharaj, as you were speaking, I was thinking about how when we choose Krishna, material life is finished. But we are still on the way to getting fully purified and reaching that point where we are completely in bliss and totally in love with Krishna. And we are beset with so many challenges, difficulties, problems, etc. So between here to there, how can we continue to feel encouraged and keep going even though we are not feeling that bliss or that satisfaction completely?
That means you have to continue on the same path. If you are in the same place that you were last year at this same time, that means you're not practicing Krishna consciousness properly. So you may have to adjust how you approach the process. But if you are practicing properly and you're getting a little taste, that taste will spiral itself continuously. That is a fact, and it's not just some idea. It becomes more and more. But there is Rupa Goswami also says, Utsaham nishtaya daryat. He also says patience is required. That Krishna reveals himself according to how we approach him. But he may also test our devotion by giving us some opportunities to continue without reciprocating. He's reciprocating by testing us to see if we are actually sincere in our efforts. Do we really want him, or do you really want him and the material energy at the same time? That's usually why we get stuck. We still want happiness in this material world, and we still endeavor in that way. Therefore, we mix in, therefore our bhakti is mixed. And mixed bhakti will move according to where you emphasize. If you emphasize the material, you'll move in that direction. If you emphasize Krishna, you'll move in that direction. But at one point, according to the process of devotional service, you should come to the platform of happiness, which is called ruchi. When you start feeling happy, Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma. Prasannatma means the soul is joyful. Brahma Bhuta Prasanna Nasochati Nakanksati. Not hankering for anything material, not lamenting when something is lost. Prasannatma Nasochati Sama Sarveshu Bhuteshu Mad Bhakti Lavate Param. So these are the qualities mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita, as Krishna explains, that level of devotional service where one attains this happiness, which is continuous. It is not based on any external situation. It comes by way of one's bhakti in devotional service. It's an affair of the heart, and it illuminates the mind. So you have to see, where are you still dealing with material attachments yet and still struggling on that level? Then continue. And if you follow the process carefully, you'll be able to move to the next stage where you become fixed in devotional service. Then, after that stage develops, then happiness becomes continuous. Then when you chant Hare Krishna, it's nice. It's not just some exercise. It's actually joyful. But if you want me to answer your question based on your situation, I'll talk to you privately.
Yes, Guru Maharaj. I'm eagerly awaiting that.
I'm going to break for a second. I want to say something to one person who is online right now. because I've been trying to find out something. And Divya, you're there?
Yes, Guru Maharaj. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, that medicine that you have, that
Yes, Guru Maharaj.
yeah, Brajendra Nandana will contact you. I've given him your contact. He'll get the medicine for you, from you. He has someone who's coming to the United States.
Okay.
So
Thank you so much, Guru Maharaj. Thank you.
just what you expect that he'll ask. He's asking on my behalf. So
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Guru Maharaj. Thank you, Guru Maharaj.
thank you for getting the medicine. That wasn't
No, thank you, Maharaj. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
okay. Thank you. Okay, Amrita Nam.
You're next, Amritana.
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj, my humble obeisances, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. So, Guru Maharaj, when we talk about the divine couple, Radha and Krishna, so if we consider the fact that we have the connection for one of it and other, we are more reverential towards the other part of the couple. So does that make sense, or is it the effect of the material world?
No, that's natural. Some are more inclined to Krishna, some are more inclined to Radharani, and some are equally inclined to both. That's even in the spiritual world. There's those who serve Radharani, but they don't interact with Krishna at all. But what is their service? Their service is to bring Radharani to Krishna. But therefore, they're more inclined to Radharani because that's their mood of devotion. And then those who are more inclined to Krishna and also focus on him exclusively, such as the cowherd boys and others like that. And even some gopis prefer Krishna over Radharani, although they are also friends of Radharani. So that's mentioned. There's those who are more attracted to Krishna, and those who are more attracted to Radharani. And then there's the third class that are equally attracted to both. So you'll fit in somewhere. You'll be in one of the three categories. So there's no loss.
Yes, Guru Maharaj. So when we do our sadhana, Guru Maharaj, while we meditate on such a thing, I was just wondering, we usually during our sadhana we are more concentrating on tattva, but is it more important to put in leelas equally along with the tattva?
Yeah, because I mean, Prabhupada wrote so many books, and a lot of it's about Lila. Swami spoke mostly on Lila and supported it with tava. Yeah, Lila is attractive. Krishna's pastimes, Krishna's qualities.
So even being on the neophyte level, we
Yeah.
can do more.
We shouldn't go into the intimate pastimes of Krishna and Vrindavan with his girlfriend in the kunjas of Vrindavan, which are written by certain acharyas, such as what's his name? The author of Gita Govinda, who's that? Jayadev Goswami. Yeah, yeah. We shy away from those, but we hear still Krishna's pastime. You read, it's in the Bhagavatam. The whole chapter 29 through 34 of the 10th canto is all about the pastimes of Krishna with the gopis. And the acharyas have also written certain books.
Okay, Guru Maharaj. Thank you for the clarification.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna.
I mean, if
Divya,
The idea is the tattva is to take you to Lila and not leave you at tattva.
Okay,
Very
then.
nice question, Amritana. Pretty deep. Thank you. Divya, you're next.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna to all the devotees. Guru Maharaj, as you mentioned in the class today that, as a devotee, we have to tolerate the injustice done to us or anyone speaking any bad words to us. So we have seen that in the example of, Krishna Lila, where Shishupal was also saying a lot of words and Krishna tolerated. So we have learned from the example of our sweet Lord as well. But as you mentioned that when, that injustice is same done in the to devotees or to the others, we should not tolerate that. And we have seen that, we don't have any other circle. So I have found that, there's a lot of clashes that happen usually after the program, especially we have seen that, there was a Kartik program. So we have done lots of services. I myself tried to manage some rota, but it didn't went well. So obviously there's a lot of feedback. So how to have that balanced approach, because how we can think ourselves, competent enough to speak between the senior devotees.
How we can be competent enough to, what was the last part of that? How can we
Like
become?
what approach we should take, Guru Maharaj, in order to clarify those clashes which happening between the devotees, and because they're saying to each other that, okay, this could be done right, this could be done right, whereas there were no formal channel that has been followed before the program, and after the program we have seen that feedback is coming on, and how to take it in a constructive way, because as Mataji's also said that, sometimes we think that it's really important to follow on your sadhana rather than getting more engaged. Whereas you can see that, yes, there's a lot of requirement in the temple that needs to be fulfilled. Your presence is important as well.
If you're getting some feedback for some correction, then you can accept it as an opportunity to improve. Why? Yeah, you can think. Of course, we like to glorify devotees for whatever service they do, but at the same time, sometime in the management role, they require a certain standard, and therefore they use the method of correction in order to increase the quality of the service. But for those who are in leadership position, they should be very sensitive to the devotees and do it in a way that is acceptable, or what we say, without any mean spirit. We have to understand it's not about me, it's not about you. It's about Krishna. So in my role as a leader, I'm not, whatever happens to me, it doesn't matter so much. But what we should also try to defend religious principles, because it's for the benefit of others and for the glorification of Krishna. So sometimes we make some corrections, but it's not because it's bothering me, it's because the standard is low and we want to raise the standard.
Yeah.
When you take things personally and then you respond to that in a negative way, that's an exhibition of your false ego. That's
Right. Thank you, Guru Maharaj. Yeah. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Divya.
Thank you, Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Hare Krishna. Krishna Kailash, before I go to you, I thought I saw Rajesh's hand up, and I don't think he's on, so I just want to make sure that I haven't ignored him. Okay. Krishna Kailash, you're next. Go ahead.
But yeah, on this topic of happiness in Krishna consciousness, I find sometimes, like when we're meditating on Krishna or chanting, or the mood seems to be quite solemn and like in the mood of separation, and that we've not quite connected to Krishna yet, and we still need his mercy, and we're still fallen, and we need to grab hold of him. And that doesn't feel like happiness.
It's the greatest happiness. Because you're starting to understand your position. But you shouldn't ask anything from Krishna. Oh, Krishna, you have to make me happy. That's not the prayer of the devotee. My dear Lord, looks like Prabhupada, when he came over on a Jaladuta, when he arrived, he wrote that prayer, Markeen Bhagavad Dharma. But he was talking about his own inability to do this, the mission that he was set out to do. And he saw in front of him, everything was the opposite. There was no Dharma in the land he landed into. And now he's going to try to bring Krishna consciousness into a barren area where there is only the modes of passion and ignorance. But Prabhupada was praying not for himself, but he was praying to Krishna to guide him in the way that he could serve and become very successful in bringing Krishna consciousness to the Western world. He wasn't praying, oh my Lord, I'm so unhappy. No, he wasn't working. He was unhappy. If he's saying he's unhappy for the fallen conditioned souls who are suffering in this material world. Sometimes Vaishnavas, when they pray like that, they express their own unhappiness, but it's not about themselves. It's about the unhappiness they see in the lives of others. So they also feel, they empathize, and they feel compassion. And so we're not worried about our personal happiness. That'll come and go. And when it reaches a certain stage, it'll be there all the time. But we don't have to aspire for happiness. We aspire for service. That's all.
Okay, thank you, Marge. I was just confused a bit with this about you're supposed to be happy.
You are, but that means if you continue in the process of bhakti, happiness will manifest. It's built into the process of bhakti. If bhakti doesn't make you happy, then it's not spiritual. Spiritual is free from all material inebrities. Spiritual is pure. Spiritual has all good qualities, and happiness is the foundation by which spirituality actually is tasted. One becomes unlimitedly happy. But you don't try for happiness. That's the point. You try for service.
Okay, thank you very much, Maharaj.
That was a powerful question. Thank you so much. Any questions from devotees, please do raise your hand, or you can put it in the chat and I will, read it out to Marge. Marge, one question I had, Marge, is when you were speaking about Dronacharya's pastime and how he was so, even though he was a devotee of the Lord, but he did this really, wrong act of having Karna kill Abhimanyu.
Unfairly.
And unfairly, yes, of killing Abhimanyu through Karna, and subsequently, he lost his son from this whole pastime of Ashwatthama, and he got so affected just from that loss. Marge, how can we as devotees, practicing devotees, being so true, trying to be so committed to the process, but not get shaken by the loss of a loved one, or where we give up everything? In the case of Dronacharya, when he heard that his son was, when it's not true,
Yeah.
because he was so strong, like he was such a Brahmin Kshatriya, but yeah.
It's natural to feel some sadness on the loss of a loved one. That's natural. And that's there, even in Vaishnavas. But that's the immediate experience that one has when they first learn about it. It may go on for a little while, but then you pick up from there and you go, and then you continue with life, knowing that that was just part of life, that had to happen. So to say you have no emotions when someone is close to you, that means we're dead stones. Some emotion is there, but it doesn't become a point of what we say, dragging us down.
Yeah.
We lose our enthusiasm for Krishna consciousness. If that happens, then it's material. The point is, yes, initial grieving and then picking up and going on in our devotional life.
And the key point, Maharaj, is not to let the lamentation, which is very natural, as you said, to drag us down.
Yeah, because we all have to die. That's you should be
Yes, Maharaj.
more concerned about your own death. That will happen to everybody. In other words, we have to give up this body in due course of time. That anything that's born is subject to the time element. So that'll happen. So therefore, when we see friends, relatives, and loved ones, yeah, there's some feeling of loss, there's some unhappiness, but then we go on. We go on, knowing that we'll also get our turn.
We're in the line to pick the ticket.
Nobody likes it, but it's a reality. Therefore, as one great saint said, die before you die. Die to those things that causing you to die. I mean, die to everything material, and that way you'll live eternally when you give up this body. For the devotee, this is the last time they have to undergo the principle of death, which is not really death, but is the doorway to eternal life. So this last death is simply opening up eternal life. That's all it is. So in that sense, it's not really death. It's just a gateway to this. You have to give up this body. That's just a fact. And everybody has to. But for the materialists, they live for the body. Therefore, when they die, it's the worst thing. We don't live for the body. We live for Krishna. We live for devotional service. We live for eternal life.
Thank you, Maharaj. Rajamandal Prabhu, you're up. Go ahead.
Hare Krishna Gurudev, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. All glories to all the Vaishnavas. Hare Krishna. Just to add to that point that you were making, that when my father passed away, it hit me like a truck. Naturally, as as someone you lose. Although he passed away so nicely, and it hit me like a ton of bricks. It really did, and for a few years. But as the devotees and as the understanding is there, although I knew how he did it and what he had done and what he achieved, it became happiness afterwards. And it became like ecstatic, like his anniversary, the 8th year just went last month. And for me on the day, it was a celebration. I was just so ecstatic and so happy and just so, how did he do it? And, and so happy for him. So your point's really, that point you made is really, really true. Because, initially it was very sad, very painful. As you know, we were all suffering. But now it's a celebration. Now it's just so lovely and so sweet.
Yeah, I was in Upland Hall. We were in a program there, and Janaki Nath said, "I have something to tell you." And I said, "Well, tell me later." He said, "All right." And then I got curious, and then he told me. But then when he told me, your father died in Vrindavan, that alone is so rare. I mean, to get that facility to die in a holy place such as Sri Vrindavan Dham, even people who try for that don't achieve it if Krishna doesn't want. So life is about preparing for death. That's all. That's what life is. We're not here to enjoy this material world because there's nothing to enjoy. That attempt to enjoy this material world is just a hard struggle. That's all.
And I have one question. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna explains to Arjuna that offer everything to me and don't have any attachment to it. So my question is, like on a daily basis, you know, we go to work, we achieve things, we do things, and so on and so forth. Now, as daily we offer foodstuffs to the Lordship, we offer flowers, we offer even maybe items that we've bought from the shop, whether it be clothes or whatever, you know, we offer it. How do we offer the other parts of what we do, whether it be work, different activities we do? How do we offer that to the Lord and not have the attachment to it?
Well, this is always a question that has different answers depending on the individual. In the sense that if you dedicate your life to Krishna in the terms of that your goal in life is to become Krishna conscious, and everything else you do in terms of the activities that you need to do in order to maintain your material body and situation, they also become part of that same mood. Because ultimately everything about you is about Krishna consciousness. That's called gona bhakti. Gona means that bhakti that is parallel to pure bhakti, which means the activities that the pure devotee does in the material world. So we may not always be conscious to offer everything to Krishna, but we should know my life is for Krishna. Therefore, my work is for Krishna. My maintaining my family is for Krishna. By taking care of my body is for Krishna. Then everything becomes spiritualized or dovetailed.
Okay, that's helpful. Thank you. Yeah, that's helpful.
Keep that overall conception that my life is for Krishna and everything I do is meant to help support my life so I can offer whatever I have to Krishna. And if we lose something material, we don't lament. If we gain something material, we don't rejoice. We simply accept it as both the way material life works. We lose something, we gain something. We're not interested in what we lose or what we gain. We're interested in keeping our attention on devotional service. Loss and gain will come. That's the way the world is.
Yes.
One who's not moved by these things is on the spiritual path.
Thank you, Gurudev.
Yeah, we have to learn how to see things in relationship to Krishna, rather than seeing things in relationship to what I want and what I need. What I need can be used also as a service to Krishna. I need food, so I take food. I need a place to stay. I might need some family activities. So because I'm a devotee, all these things are connected to Krishna. Therefore, I offer them as a service to Krishna. And we do the best in each of the categories that we are responsible for. We don't minimize or neglect. We try our best in every aspect of life to put quality in whatever we do, because it's all meant for Krishna.
Thank you for that answer. Yeah, it's a perfect answer.
Even when we have to leave this body, we should leave the body in the best way. And not like materialists, they leave the body, they're still thinking about all of the things that they're leaving behind, and they're unhappy because they're going.
Mm.
Not like that.
Thank you, Rajamandala. Very nice question. Helped all of us. Thank you. Krishna Kaviraj, you're on again. Go ahead.
And I was thinking about on this topic of like where we lose something, we gain something, things don't go to plan. Sometimes nice things happen, bad things happen, or perceived nice or bad, I should say, all the time. And it's hard to be indifferent. But recently I've been like thinking like, okay, when something happens, just use it to do something nice for Krishna, or move yourself closer to Krishna. And then as soon as you start doing it, you just find something to do, something goes slap you in the face, and you go, oh, I got this, I can use this to my advantage. It's like I was late at night, it's like I'm so cold, it's dark, I'm hungry, I'm tired, I want to get home, and there's a traffic jam and you're not moving. I think, oh, and everyone's frustrated and angry, and I think, oh, what I'm going to do, I'm going to put the kirtan on, crank it up, wind down the windows, I'm singing and dancing, and everyone else is like angry, and I'm just singing and dancing, and I'm just relishing in the moment.
Come to India and get stuck in the traffic jams here. They're nothing like
can we do kirtan there?
The traffic jams in India are unbelievable. Road has rooms for one car to go down, and there's cars coming in both directions. They face each other off, and then nobody moves. We were going from Govardhan to Vrindavan the other day, and we got really close, and then we came to the last street, and we ran into this lockdown. All the cars were stuck, nothing was moving. Motorbikes were trying to drive around everything, going up on the sidewalk. People were running this way and that way. I just got out of the car and just walked the rest of the way. So we did. I must have did that about 100 times when I've been in India so far in this last couple of months. Stuck in traffic jams. Just get out of the car and walk. So we don't get in, we just expect it. That's just the way it is. It's just the way it is. You can't get, when we say, you know, you can't get unhappy about it. It's just the way it is. You just work with it, And even the people in the traffic jam, they're also not so unhappy. They just try to deal with it because everyone expects these things to happen. But in the material, but I was thinking, I always think when I see things happening in India and how people tolerate and work with it, and how if these same things happen in Western countries, people will be screaming at each other. maybe even ready to punch somebody.
And what is really interesting, Marge, with all the major traffic jam in India, they somehow are able to maneuver telepathically. Now, that is the biggest thing that goes over my head. Like telepathically, they are able to, you know, deal with the traffic without banging each other, I think. But I don't know how they do that. But I think telepathy is pretty strong in India than it is in America.
When the Russians first came to India many years ago, they were also kind of bewildered seeing how people were maneuvering in traffic. And they said, God, there must be a God in control.
Seriously, Maharaj, seriously. I mean,
what you say is like miraculous, how somehow or other people can maneuver in these things, and somehow nobody crashes into nobody. It just doesn't happen.
exactly. And that is what, in fact, when Prekṣit went to mine for the first time 2 years ago, that's the first comment he made, Maharaj. He says, India is running on telepathy. That's exactly what he said, because it's just how it is.
That telepathy is more like Krishna's in control.
Yes, Maharaj. Completely. Yes.
I've seen, I mean, people come so close to each other that you can't fit anything in between, not even a hair. But nobody nobody crashes.
Nobody. Exactly, March. Nobody crashes. You're right about that. That is amazing. And like you said, March, there is a God for this to happen. Amazing. Thank you for that question, Krishna Kaviraj Prabhu. Any other questions?
Maharaj,
Yes, Sridevi.
and what Guru Maharaj said about how, the traffic will come in completely opposite direction. You're not even going, you're supposed to be in that direction, but you will be going in exactly flying in the face of the traffic and calmly park at the side of the road while the rest of the traffic goes by. I said, my gosh, this can only happen in India. Can you believe this? Going against the traffic is like
Absolutely.
unbelievable,
Now,
hilarious.
when I ride in traffic, I just think I'm just watching a kind of like a funny movie. It's really, I thought this, you have to pay to go to these to get these kind of scenes in the movies, but it's right in front of you and it's all free.
Free movie theater on the streets of India, Maharaj.
And you're right there in it. Can you believe that? It's just hilarious.
It is. Completely. Thank you, Krishna Kaviraj. Thank you for that question. Brought some humor a little bit to the class. Thank you. Any other questions from devotees? Please, Rajamanda said that he loved that analogy. Yes, it actually is a free movie show. Don't have to pay. If there are no questions, Maharaj, before we start, if you would like to chant one round, and before that, how would you like to say the prayer for Amrita Sundaris? Like, what should we do, Maharaj? Please do guide us.
The devotees can, within their own hearts and minds, just offer their best wishes and prayers that this soul, who is a relative of a devotee who is practicing, will receive the special mercy of Krishna. We pray like that. We don't ask Krishna for anything. We ask that that Krishna will give that soul some mercy according to how Krishna wants to give that mercy. But because that soul is connected to a devotee, the benefit is there. Anyone that's connected to one in devotional service is also benefiting automatically, even if they're not practicing. So we can offer a prayer within our own hearts and mind and just pray that the Lord will show his mercy upon the father of Sundari.
Amrita Sundari.
Sundari, yeah.
Thank you, Maharaj. And request devotees, if you could say the prayer, whether now or after class, in a moment of.
We can all chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra together.
Thank you, Maharaj. If we all can unmute ourselves wherever possible, and let's chant the Maha Mantra together. Maharaj, if you would like to start, Maharaj.
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Rama
Rama
Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama,
Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna.
Thank you all so much. And Maharaj, would you like to end with a round of chanting, Maharaj?
maybe two.
No problem, Maharaj. Completely fine. Thank you, Maharaj. Completely fine, Maharaj.
Okay. Jai Sri Krishna, Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Sri Advaita Gadadhara, Srivasari Gaur Bhaktivinoda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Hare, Rama. Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Okay. Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama. Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hari 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 Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hari Hari. Hari 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 Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hari 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 Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hari Hari. Hari 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 Ram, Hari Hari. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hari Hari. Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hari. Hare Ram, Hare Hari, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hari. Hare Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hari. Hare Hari, Hare Ram, Hare Hari. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Hari Hari, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hari Hari, Hare Rama, Rama. Hari Hari Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama. Hari Hari, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hari Hari, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hari Hari, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hari Hari, Hare Ram, Hari Hari. Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hari Hari, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hari. Hari Hari, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hari Hari, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hari. Hare Ram, Hare Krishna. Hare Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hari Hari, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama. Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hari 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 Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hari 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 Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hari 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 Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hari 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 Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hari 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 Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hari 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 Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hari 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 Ram, Hare Ram, Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare
Hare Krishna devotees, so we will end the class today. Thank you all for joining. Vanchakaptibhyascha kripasindhabhyevacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. Hare Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, everybody.
Hare Krishna. Hare
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.